right, all right, all right. All right, so welcome everybody. My name is Dr. Johnson Ilade, and I'm the founder and CEO of Glomacs IT Solutions and Services here in Canada. Today, I want to talk to you on two roles that is actually emerging in the last 10 years that, has received a lot of attention, and the two of them are actually in very high demand. The two of them are taking attention in organization right now, and organizations are investing heavily in hiring for these two roles. The two track which I see now with respects to data. And one is the data engineer, and then the other one is data scientist. But a lot of people confuse the two roles. A lot of people doesn't really know which one is which. And so today I want to clarify that by just highlighting the pathway of a data engineer and that of a data scientist. Now, in real organizations, the two of them work together, but what is their role? What is the kind of work that they do, and then what kind of job functions do they perform? I'm going to be highlighting on that right now. So please, if you want to get content and updated videos like this from on tech and especially AI, data science, analytics related, and some emerging technology as well. So make sure that you follow Glomacs on all our social media. You will see the link on top of this video. So you make sure you follow us on all social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The goal is to bring awareness and enlightenment onto you on some of these emerging technology. And if you have a particular topic or you have a particular question that you want answered during one of these live broadcasts, you are welcome to ask them and send email to maybe training@glomacsolutions.com, or you can ask on any of the videos that we have already shared. So every week I will come on live to just give you some guidance on how to navigate into this area and how to build a successful career in this area. So make sure that you follow us on all our social media handles. We have a YouTube channel, so which you can just subscribe to, so that you can get access to all the videos that we are producing every week. Throughout this year, we are going to be generating a lot of videos. Then also, we are on LinkedIn, so follow us on LinkedIn. If you are a professional, you have a LinkedIn page, so please make sure that you follow us. We are on LinkedIn as well, and we are also on Instagram, so make sure you follow at Glomacs Solutions on Instagram. And we have a Facebook page as well, which is the one that we are streaming from right now. So the topic for discussion today is data engineer and data scientist. What is the difference? Data engineer versus data scientist. What is the difference? Now, so the common thing that we all know is that data is the oil of the current generation. So by that, we mean that the life wire of most organizations right now runs on data. So, and that is because almost all transactions are carried out online. Almost every processes are being done through online platforms and mediums. So we have so many tools, so many gadgets right now that we are using. Average home, they have not less than 3 to 5 computers. They have tablets, they have phones, they have a lot of IoT devices that are connected to maybe whatever they do at home. So all of these are data generating devices. They generate a lot of data, especially when you use a web platform, a mobile applications, and so on. All of them collect some data, and those data are very huge. So in the last 10 to 12 years, we have seen new roles emerging, new opportunities emerging, especially in the IT world, that many of them doesn't exist in the last 20 or more years. So that's why you've got to be aware of some of the emerging roles, emerging trends, emerging opportunities, because many of these new roles, they are scarce skill area. They are areas where organizations are actually looking for professionals and experts, and there are not many people that are qualified for those roles, and so they are willing to pay a lot because it's classified as scarce skill area. So if you are really going to rejuvenate your career, if you are going to position yourself for the job of the 21st century, then you've got to be aware and make sure that you are upgrading yourself, upskilling yourself, or in some cases, you probably have to reskill yourself all over. So one area that has seen emerging trends in terms of the number of opportunities that are opening is data engineering. But sometimes a lot of people still confuse it with data science. They are two different things. In fact, at the beginning of computer science itself, you have two tracks. You have computer science and you have computer engineering. So in the olden day, the computer engineering is more towards hardware. It's more towards producing devices and hardware, while the software engineering is more towards producing the software. So the same thing when we look at the data world as well, there are two parts that you can look at it. Number one is to look at it from a data engineering part, okay, and the second part is a data science part, okay, engineering and science. But unlike what you have in computer science and computer engineering, the two of them are actually soft skill. And what I mean by that is that they work hand in hand. It's only that the focus of both are just different. So if you look at data data flow process in organization, and I'm going to show a short slide to show that. So you have about 4 different steps that are involved in the data process. Okay, you have 4 processes that are involved. Number one thing that we first start with is to collect data. And then we move that data, we do some pre-processing, and then we store it either in a database. It can be a relational database or unrelational database like NoSQL databases, or we use some modern tools like data lake, enterprise data lake, to store it. So the second step is to store the data. So the first step is to collect the data, whether it's through a web platform or through a mobile platform or through an IoT device or any source. So the first step is to collect. The second step is to move the data, pre-process it, and store the data in a particular storage. It might be stored in a cloud. It can be stored within the organization using relational database or using some enterprise data lake tool. Then the third step is to extract and explore the data. The third step is to explore and extract the data. And then the fourth step is to analyze, to model, and to visualize the data. And also, you can also build maybe some AI product as at the first step as well. So these are the workflow process for data. These are the data flow process in organization. And on top of all of these is things like data governance, data privacy, and then data security, and then the operational side of the whole process as well. So if you look at the steps that I just highlighted, the first 2 steps in the whole process, which is to collect the data from maybe various sources, whether it's through a web page or an e-commerce website, or through an app, or maybe any IoT devices, or through any other means that the data is coming in. The first step is to ingest that data in, to collect that data and then bring it in. So And then the second step is to move it, and then to do some pre-processing and store it. So the first two steps mainly revolve around what data engineers do. The first two steps. So if you are looking at data engineering, their work is more focused on data collection, moving the data and processing the data and storing it in the infrastructure, data storage infrastructure. But if you move beyond that, then the organization now begin to think about extracting the data and then generating value from it. So you have data extraction, data exploration, and then you do analysis, you do model development, you do data visualization, building dashboard, and then also maybe building an AI product from it. So that is typically what people who are in data science part, that's what they do. So most data science work involve just data extraction from the database or wherever it's stored, and then analyzing or building model or creating visualization from the data, or building a product, AI product from it. So the data engineer work on the first two steps, while the data scientist work on the last two steps. So what exactly does data engineering role involve? So as a data engineer, the role is to create APIs, to create data pipelines, to create data frameworks for curating, consuming, and processing data from various sources. So whether it's the conventional sources like relational data sources, or unconventional sources like NoSQL, like unstructured data from text, or from social media, or from IoT devices, or video from streaming sources. All of these things are data that a data engineer know how to bring in and ingest into the organization's data storage. So the only thing is that a data engineer doesn't need to know data, it doesn't need to have good experience with statistics, maths, and model building. It doesn't even need to know machine learning models. It doesn't need to know so much about how to build an AI product. So, but their job is to be able to bring in the data, ingest it, and then do pre-processing. Make sure that the data is in a state that a data scientist will be able to use in the organization. So what are some of the skills that a data engineer need to have? Number one is that they must be able to do data extraction and injection. Data extraction and injection, okay. They must also be able to do data storage and management. Data storage and management, and then they must be able to do data processing. Data processing. Now, because we have the data in different format and from different sources, including maybe batch-oriented processing, that is data that are not necessarily changing in real time. Okay, so those are batch data. Then we have real-time data as well. Real-time data are data that are actually flowing in real time. For example, if you are driving Uber, the data is actually being streamed live. So maybe there is an emergency or a support that is required. So the ability to ingest that data in real time will be vital in being able to carry out real-time analysis on that data. So different operations are required depending on the kind of data that we are dealing with, if it is a batch operation or a real-time operation. So then also the person must have some understanding of concepts around data warehousing, and then concepts around enterprise data lake architecture, and then also cloud technology will be another thing that the person need to know. So what are the common tools? Number one, you need to have understanding of operating systems, including Unix and Windows, and then you need to have some programming experience, including Java, Python, and Scala Python, Java, and Scala are the three major programming languages that data engineers uses. Then you also need to have some understanding of Hadoop, okay, Hadoop infrastructure, and then Spark as well, Spark, okay. You need to have understanding of relational database management systems, including understanding SQL. Now, in most cases, when you are a data scientist or data analyst or business intelligence, so mostly when you are writing SQL query, most of the queries that you write is to select, because your job is to extract the data. So you only write more of select queries. But when you are a data engineer, your work goes beyond that. You need to be able to create, you need to be able to insert, you need to be able to update, and you need to be able to delete, okay, because your job goes beyond just extracting the data. You need to create tables, you need to insert information into tables, you need to update, and you need to be able to delete. All right, so these are some of the tools, and these are some of the career path. Now, in terms of salary, it varies, but currently now is most data engineers are paid over 100,000, over 100,000 in Canada here. And so that means that if you have a career in this area, you are likely to be in the top earning class of professionals. So it's one of the high paying job. In fact, in the last 1 year, it's been actually saying that there are almost about 50% growth rate in terms of the number of jobs that are looking for data engineer. And you can see so many titles that are used to describe people that are in this area, including data engineer, big data developer, data architect, solution architect, BI engineer, data warehouse engineer, and some other role. By the time you look at the job specification, you will see that it aligns with what a data engineer look like. So if I'm going to learn things around data engineering, what are the key things to know? Number one, automation and scripting will be very important, including Bash operations, Linux. You must be comfortable working in the command line using Linux command line as well. So then the second thing is programming. Okay, you must be comfortable with programming, especially with Java, Python, and Scala. Java, Python, and Scala are the three languages that dominate the data engineering field. Then you must know database management systems, including SQL and NoSQL. And then you must have some understanding of ETL. ETL means extract, transform, and load. Extract, transform, and load. ETL tools, okay, and data warehousing tools such as Talend and Pentaho. Those ones are used in big organizations. Now, if you are working with a small startup, you might not work in those environments, but if you are working in big organizations, they might be using some of these tools. Then number 5, you need to understand big data tools as well, because with big data, then we have ability to process unstructured data right now. So you need to have an understanding of HDFS, MapReduce, Spark, and then Kafka, Apache Kafka, which is one of the tools that is used for data injection. So Kafka is very, very dominant in this industry. And then also you need to have a good understanding of cloud technologies. Cloud technologies is going to be very important if you are working in a data engineering role. And the reason for that is because most organizations are actually moving their data to cloud infrastructures right now. So you need to have an understanding of common cloud technologies such as AWS, Azure, and then Google Cloud Platform. So you need to have understanding of AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud Platform. Those are the 3 dominant ones. Now, if you have this understanding, then you have positioned yourself correctly for a role in data engineering. So let me repeat again the learning part. Number 1, automation and scripting. Number 2, programming, and 3, dominant programming language, Java, Python, and Scala. Number 3, database management systems. So you need to understand the concept of database management, and you need to have understanding of both SQL and NoSQL, because different organizations uses different database storage, and including NoSQL as well. You need to have understanding of ETL, and data warehousing tools such as Talent and Pentao, and then you need to have knowledge of big data tools such as HDFS, which is for data storage, MapReduce, which is for processing, then Spark and Kafka. Okay, so these are very, very important for you if you are looking at data engineering role. And the last one that I mentioned in your part is cloud. Okay, you need to have an idea of cloud technology, and the 3 dominant one is Amazon AWS, Microsoft Azure, and then Google Cloud Platform. Those are the 3 that are dominant in the cloud industry for storage. So if you have all of this, then you are fit for a data engineering role. And currently, this area is a scarce skill area. There are not many people that fit into that role currently. So most organizations are looking for data engineer. Now, compared to data scientists, so like I said, the data engineers, they extract, they connect with different sources to bring in the data, and then they ingest the data. They do a lot of pre-processing on the data to make sure that it's available for data scientists to use. And then after that, the data scientist role is to extract that data from the database and then do all the analysis, build a model, and create the AI product from there. So if it's data scientists, so their role is to just use various statistical techniques, models, and algorithms to extract information from data, whether it's structured or not structured, and to also generate insight for businesses for decision making. So what are the skills that a data scientist then need to know compared to a data engineer? Okay, so while things like maths, stats, algebra, and understanding machine learning algorithms are not required for a data engineer because they don't actually do analysis on the data, it is very important for a data scientist. Okay, it is very important for a data scientist to have those skills. So it means for a data scientist, you need to have business and domain knowledge. You need to have stats and math background, and then you need to have data analysis techniques knowledge. You need to understand concepts of data mining. Okay, you need to understand machine learning algorithm. You need to understand data extraction and data wrangling. You need to understand data visualization technique. So those are the portfolio of skills that are required for a data scientist. What are the tools that they use? Well, just like data engineer, data scientists use Python, they use R, they use SAS. Okay, so a data engineer doesn't need to know R. They don't use R. They use Python, Java, and Scala. But for data scientists, you need Python, you need R, you need SAS. But in recent time too, especially when you are building some real life projects, so Scala is also becoming something that is dominant in the industry right now. Scala and Spark, they are becoming a tool that data scientists are also using right now. Then in data science related parts, you need Excel, you need Tableau, you need Power BI knowledge, you need to understand machine learning algorithms, you need to understand Hadoop as well, because your data might be stored in a data lake. So you need to understand how to extract them. Now, in most cases, there are tools that look similar to what you use in a non-Hadoop environment. For example, you have Hive, which is similar to what you do with SQL. So if you can write SQL query, that knowledge is transferable to Hive. So there is what is called Hive QL, which is Hive query language, which you can use to extract data in an Hadoop infrastructure. Then you need to have good understanding of SQL, particularly how to write select statement in SQL. So that's for data science part. Now, what are some of the job titles that are related to data science? Number one is business intelligence analyst, data analyst, business analyst, data scientist, machine learning engineer, AI engineer or specialist. All of these are titles that relate to the work that are along the data science part. And in terms of salary, depends on the organization, but in most cases, data scientists are one of the highly paid workers in organizations today. Why? Because they are scarce skill. In fact, most organizations classify them as a special class of skill because they don't have as many. And in some organizations, they actually require you to have advanced degree if you want to be a data scientist or a data engineer. But there are some other roles in that part, like data analyst and business intelligence analyst, that doesn't require any advanced knowledge. So, but for full data scientists, they sometimes require you to have a master's or PhD in computer science or any analytics related discipline like statistics, maths, engineering, and so on, like that. So that's the difference between data science and data engineer. Now, in terms of learning part for a data scientist, usually you start from the perspective of a data analyst or business intelligence analyst, and in that role you need to understand Python or R, and then you need to understand SQL, because most small organization or even big organization, many of their data in a structured query language, structured database environment, BMS environment. Then you need to understand how to do data manipulation and cleaning. You need to understand how to do exploratory analysis on the data, okay? And you need to understand basic statistics, okay? Because data is all about numbers too, so you need to understand basic statistics and math. Then you need to be able to do storytelling using data visualization, okay? Tableau, Excel, Power BI are very, very useful in this context. So, and for that, you can become a business analyst, a data analyst, or a business intelligent analyst, or Tableau or Power BI developer. So, but when you want to move from there to the next phase of your career, then you can become a data scientist or machine learning engineer. But that will require you to then understand machine learning algorithms, that is how to work on a data science project, and then understand big data and Hadoop, and also work with Apache Spark. And you can move in from there to senior roles or maybe AI environment, wherein you are not just doing machine learning, you are actually dealing with other aspects of AI like computer vision, natural language processing, robotics, and so on like that. So there are so many wide areas that you can venture into as you move in the career ladder. So it's up to you, your background. And for me, generally, I always advise those who have technical IT background, like people who are developers, who are programmers, and they are looking for the next phase of their career. Data engineering is one of the key things that you can move into. If you love programming, if you love coding, if you are passionate about coding, then data engineering is one area that you will really succeed and thrive in as a software developer. But if you are not somebody that loves too much of coding, but you still love to do analysis with data, then the part that will be fit for you is data science. Even though you still do some programming there, but your programming experience is not as deep as that of a data engineer. So I would say that you go for all data science related role, whether it's a business intelligence, data analyst, data scientist, machine learning engineer, or AI engineer related kind of role. All right. So I hope that clarifies the question on what is the difference between data engineer and data scientist. So if you have any other questions that you want me to answer during any of the live sessions, you are free to ask. Anything related to tech, anything related to data, anything related to AI, machine learning, data science, I'm going to answer them during any of the live session. And please don't forget that we have a training that is upcoming on January 30th. January 30th, if you are interested in the career path towards data science. Now, later in the future, we are also bringing in training along data engineering part, because what we want to do is to help you to be able to launch your career as things are changing in the industry. We want to prepare you for the future of work and make sure that you are employment ready for the opportunities that we are seeing right now. So we are going to launch training in the area of data engineering, but currently the one we have now is data science track. So if you are interested in business intelligence, data analyst, BI developer, data visualization professional, data science role, machine learning engineer, AI engineer, then the training that we are doing on January 30th is relevant for you. So we have registration going on right now, and you can just go to glomacsinstitute.com to register for the training. Registration continues till January 26th. So make sure that you register on or before January 26th to be part of the training. So the training is about 20 weeks long if you are doing the full track, which is for data science, that the people who are interested in data science. Okay, but if you are just doing track 1, which is for business intelligence and data analyst role, then it's 10 weeks, and the trainings are on weekend, on Saturdays, 4 hours on Saturday. So, and it's live class, so you are going to be there live. You are going to participate with people globally, and you have the ability to do some hands-on project that will help you to build a robust portfolio to get into the field. So thank you so much. If you have any question, feel free to ask, and feel free to share this video as well to anyone or to your network, people that you know might be interested in understanding the difference between data science and data engineering. Thank you, and I look to come back again on Friday. Until then, have a nice day. Bye.